Hey, it's Ebony of R&B Vibes. And guys, I love me some good artists. And this one right here, it's not just the music, it's also her creative expression and her own look. Alex Molly, how you doing, beautiful?
Hello, girl. What's up?
I can't with you. It's just everything of you. I told you before we started the conversation that it's your boldness and your way of speaking, your way of being so self-assured and everything. It's amazing, and I wish I had that growing up. I really do.
Thank you so much. Honestly, that's something that I definitely grew into. It's definitely something I grew into. Even when I started making music, it was definitely I was very insecure about myself, and I feel like I knew who I was, but I was kind of struggling to find that. So to hear that is like everything to me. So
Well, I know it takes time. Of course, you got to go through some trial and error to get to that person. So, tell me, what were some of those things that you went through in order for you to get to this now? Look, take me as I am, or honey, don't take me at all.
um I feel like it's always been in me. I have I would say my mother is one of those people who are just take me as I am, or you know get over it. And I've
Mm,
never been that strong-willed when it came to who I am as a person. I definitely felt like I had to dim my light a little bit, or feel like I had to just make myself smaller in order to fit in. And I think I was able to get over that as I started creating music, because I really found my voice creating music. And it was a space that I could be as vulnerable as possible, but also talk my shit and just be human, and just my authentic self, where I felt like, people didn't really understand me on the outside, in reality. So I felt
mm.
like I got to get a lot of points across, and all the things that I probably was nervous to say, in person, or I've always been better writing than I was speaking. So that's how I feel like I've found who I am. But over time, um, it's just piecing together the different identities that I've collected along the way as well. So even when I
Mm.
started off with Sweet and Sour, I was in the stage where I was going through a lot of trials and tribulations when it came to relationships, and how I viewed love. And I'm a lover girl, so it's just how I view things is very bittersweet, and a little, I don't know, I just feel like from now and then I've really grown into myself. Like, instead of having this people pleasing nature, I've definitely gotten
Mm.
over that hump. So,
Let's go into the making the music and you saying people not understanding who you were and not understanding just you. As if I'm correct, when you started getting into music, you came from, of course, you was in college, you was, I guess, depressed at a point. What was going on there? What was happening?
I was so accustomed to, I was with, I'm not an only child, so I have two older sisters. Um, and we're 5 years apart. So
Mm,
before I went to college, I was always with them. I was always with someone, and I kind of always played the background, because I'm the youngest. So, my independence didn't really shine through until I went to college. But when I went to college, I was so accustomed to being around people, being by myself. I'm just okay, what do I want to do? What do and it kind of put me in this spiral of I don't even know what I'm doing or who I am. And then I also ran into I wouldn't say issues, but my roommate at the time, she was a little she was a little, you know, um she was a little color
sure,
color
wild.
shook. She was a little color shook. So, when it comes to me being able to stand up for myself, but also being such a polite person, it was just very interesting interactions that I had to go through there. I also went to a music school. I went to Hart in Connecticut, but it was my first time at a music school. I was doing regular like math and science. So I felt like a kindergartner when I went to college. It was very difficult for me. So even though I had like, the tools in terms of my voice and everything, like when it came to like music training, ear training, all of these things, I was very behind. And it was just a pylon, pylon, pylon. And I'm like, I need to escape from this. And I started like, music. Like I went online, I went on YouTube and I typed in Bob Marley beat. I didn't know how people found beats at the time. So I was like, let me just look up Bob Marley type beat. So see what pops up. And the first beat that popped up, I recorded a little song to it, slapped it on SoundCloud. And like honestly, like even though I didn't know it at the time, that was like the start of what I'm doing now. Because even though I wasn't taking it seriously, SOBs reached out to me. It was like, hey, we found this on SoundCloud. You want to come perform at this like
Oh
showcase?
wow.
I'm like, all right, cool, like whatever. Like whatever. Like I have my one song, perform my one song. And I ended up winning my category, came back, and then like, it was just like a bunch of just random things I was doing. And, later down the line, I was like, you know what, maybe I should do this. Like,
Yeah, maybe, maybe. That was definitely your calling right there. You being that one song and
yeah.
then winning your category, and then it just being, this is actually what I'm gonna go ahead and stick to. I'm gonna stick with this one. This works. But I get it. I think that
Yeah.
for me, I so much relate to your story because I am the youngest, and I grew up in a household with my
Mhm.
older sister, and she was everybody's favorite. Everybody loved her. Everybody knew her. Everybody wanted to be her, and I kind of got swept in her background. And I'm like, I'm a person
I don't,
too,
yeah.
and it's a lot, and it makes you feel like, okay, so if you don't see me, how in hell do I see myself? Like, who am I? And it took some self discovery, it took some
Hmm.
learning for me to figure out who I am, and then be
Hmm.
comfortable with it, and then say to
Hmm.
myself, this is good. This is what I love. This is what I do. This honestly how I got to where I am now. My sister, she's a singer. She's doing the whole music and all that, and I'm just like, I don't know what I
Yeah.
want to be, but y'all gonna know my name one day. So, so I truly relate to your story. But did your siblings and y'all have a good relationship and all of that?
Yeah, like I like to say that my family and I, we have such an interesting relationship because of course we love each other. But I feel like our dynamic is our dynamic. And I think the coolest thing about my sisters is that we're all creatives in some shape or form. Like one of my sisters just my older sisters are twins. One
Mm.
of them designs and one of them writes, like so they're like journalists. And my mom is a painter and like a event curator. So like I've
Oh
always
wow.
been like, around like creative like energy.
Mm.
Um so that's always fun, like looking to them. Like I definitely idolized them um when I was younger because I just felt like they really stood out from the crowd. They were very different. I'm also Caribbean, so my mom is Jamaican and my dad is Trinidadian. And the our upbringing was just very different from, like from when I was going to school. And I was just like, okay, I'm American, but I'm also Caribbean. So it was this space of like, all right, well, the Caribbean, the like really, really like I'm from like Jamaica, Trinidad, like the people who are like probably on like the track team. They're just like,
Mhm.
okay, well, you're not really Caribbean. And then it'll be like you looking on the other side, they're like, yeah, well, you're not really American, you know what I mean? And it was just this like constant battle. So it was great to be able to like have people that I could look at that I'm just like, all right, you're just like me. And I see how you're navigating. And when I get to this point, when I get to like your age, I'll be able to navigate this way. Like, yeah, they're definitely inspiration in their own right. Me and my sisters, yeah.
See, I was curious about that household because I know being in that, you said Jamaican and Trinidad and all of that, that type of household is very different than the standard American home. Was it more
Yeah.
strict, or I know y'all all creatives, so but I'm curious. It was, yeah, she's you check.
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely strict. Definitely strict. Tell me more about your upbringing, and also how that all kind of came up to be you. I mean, you have all these different mixtures of cultures and languages within you, and now you're like, who am I? So
Yeah.
tell me, what was that?
So obviously very strict.
Mm,
But strict, and it was interesting because it's strict but also open. Like my parents were very well versed on different cultures. So, you know, we were urged to experience different cultures and understand different cultures so that, you're not like shut off from the world or knowing that you can accept other people because they're not like you.
mm,
And, you know, I do feel like it comes through my music and my expression. And I'm from Brooklyn as well. So it's a cultural hub. So I have like elements in my music that are obviously like Caribbean. Like I consider the music that I make dancehall, R&B, and pop. So when it comes to the pop side, like I kind of like mingle, like obviously like Brooklyn hip hop trap, and then you have like, and then you have like, the dancehall culture, the reggae, you have like, like R&B is always going to be my foundation because I grew up listening to R&B, like the Mary J. Blige, the storytelling, the Beyonce,
hey, hey,
the
hey.
Brandies, like, come on, like,
Mm-hmm.
and having like the different tiers of generations was also really great because my dad obviously had different music tastes than my mother. My sisters had their music taste, and I have my own music taste for my generation. And I've just been influenced by all of these things, and it shines through my music in like the best way. Sometimes I know that there are people who are, I've heard, people say like, oh, like I don't get it, or not everyone, because there are people, the people that get it,
Man, 'cause
but
look, I get it.
but some people are like, oh, I'm confused about this, or I'm confused like how you're doing this and also doing this, and I just really chalk that up to like me and my culture and where I'm from and when I was born. I was born on the cusp of like the 90s and the thousands. So it's just like, this like evolutionary type of R&B. And that's what I feel like I'm doing. So
And that's what I hear from you. Honestly, I think that when you are a multifaceted person, it's hard to just be narrow in your scope of artistry or creativity or craft. It's hard for you to do that. You have so many different things that influences you. It's like there's different people. I have to be able to say, hey, this one is speaking for me today. This one is speaking for me today. And no matter what I'm speaking, it's just a different size that I have to showcase. And
right.
that's not bad. That's definitely something I think is heard beautifully in your music. I know that you asked me before what got me to you, and I have to, of course, I have to give it to Sweet and Sour. That whole project, that's what got me into you. But it was your hair color that got me in a trance. I was listening to your music, and I'm like, this is a bop. I'm loving this, and I'm like, what? Oh, her hair is green, and I like it. Can we for a minute? I gotta get on this. What is up with the hair color? It's one day green, one day yellow, one day blue. I don't know what's happening. What is up with your hair color, and why does it mean a lot to you? Does it mean anything at all?
I mean, my hair does mean a lot to me. I love like how versatile my hair is. Just like being a Black woman in general is just like amazing to have like this hair
Hmm.
texture that could do so many things. And as far as the hair color, when it came to green, I literally had a dream. I literally woke up and I said, "Oh, I want to dye my hair green." My goal was never to dye my hair green. It was to dye my hair lavender. I dye my hair lavender. And I just like every time I bleached my hair to like a certain degree, I would get scared because I'm like, oh my God, my hair gonna break off. And then I would and reset. But I was like, no, I'm going all the way this time. And I got my hair to the level that I needed it. And I woke up in the morning, I'm like, my hair needs to be like neon green. And I went to the beauty supply store and it was like divine intervention because I walked into
Mm.
the beauty supply store and I didn't even walk down the aisle. On the counter was a bottle of green dye.
Are you
I have the
serious?
I kid you not. I kid you
Wow.
not. And it was literally like that was it. I just bought it and left. And I went to my best friend's house and dyed my hair green. So that was like 7, 8 years ago. I dyed my hair green. I was green before my music started popping off or anything, right? Like my
Mhm.
hair was green for a minute. And as far as like the new color goes, um, it's because I am actually doing a follow-up to Sweet and Sour, which is sweet and spicy, hence the red hair.
Ooh. Mhm, mhm.
Hence the red hair. And in between, um after 2020 hit, I know that I like did like a little stripe black in the green. And that was because like it was just a lot going on and I felt like I was maturing and I was like, going through the stages like we were speaking about, like as I was maturing and figuring out more who I was. And I'm like, all right, like I am still green hair Alex, but like I'm something else now. And when I
Mhm.
was looking in the mirror, like it wasn't representing who I felt like I was at that moment. And I usually try to go with my gut. And I was a little nervous at first because I'm just like, oh my gosh, people know me for green hair. They're gonna hate me. They're gonna be like, oh my God, what is this girl doing? Like, and like the more I thought about it, I'm like, girl, if your message is to authentically be yourself and like go with your gut and move with your, I'm a hypocrite if I don't do what I'm feeling right now, you know?
You're right.
So
You're right.
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna just do it because I'm an icon and icons do whatever they want to do.
Word. Yes, ma'am.
Like,
You right about that. Mhm. You got
so
it.
that's how I move. That's how I move. Even the red hair, I know that it's connected to this project, but I was actually like going through a lot like during the past like year. Um a lot of like shifts and changes and I was in LA. I was like sitting in my room and I was cutting like some music. I had like some like writer's block a little bit for like a couple like weeks. And I
Mm,
was sitting in the room and like I finally got some like good songs out. I was sitting there and usually I whenever I make music, I can see a visual with it. And like I'll usually do my mood boards and stuff, but I was sitting there and the song was playing in my head that I made, but I had red hair in my like vision and I'm like, why is my hair red? Like that doesn't make any sense. My hair is never red in like these ideas that I have. And I was
mhm.
like, well, let me play around with that. Like, why would my hair be red? Like, why would and I was just like, it led me to, this direction of like, revisiting my past self and like the things that I've missed out on, like the things that I've wanted to do, but I haven't gotten the chance to, the old me and like habits that I kind of like, let go of that I didn't realize I let go of. And, I was just like catching up with myself at that time. So once I had this new version, I'm just like familiar but different.
Mm,
Familiar but different. And that's how I
mm.
feel about myself even right now, you know? And that's what, the music that I have coming is a reflection of. And, it's just a constant journey. Like anything I put out is really just like the process of me literally going through life. And I love sharing that. So yeah, that was long-winded, but
No, that was beautiful. It was perfect, and honestly, a wonderful, segue to something that you said recently. You even said, well, not recently, it was in a post that I saw through my research. You talked about how in each time work on a song or work on music, you find another version of yourself, another layer of yourself, and what a rewarding feeling to feel. Another understanding of who you are, and it's familiar, but it's different. You're still you. It's just a different type of thinking, a different perspective, a new growth, a new way of taking on challenges, hell, being challenged. So, and even as simple as a hair color, it's not. It's more in depth than that. It's a representation of who I am right now and who y'all going to get. So,
right.
I think that it just speaks wonderfully to your story.
Thank you.
Now you do kind of give me the courage to go and get neon green hair. So that
I
is something we will explore.
Listen, when people come to me about coloring their hair, I'm the worst person to come to because I'm always
Oh
gonna say
my
yes.
gosh.
I'm always gonna say yes. I'll be like, do it, do it.
Do it, do
Kermit
it.
with the hood, like that's me. Like
Yes, that is you. That is you. And you know what? I think personally, I think that is you in every aspect, even outside of coloring your hair. I think you are that champion friend that says, do it. But do it. They don't care. Then let him go. You don't need
Go back.
him. Bump him. Bump her. Throw it back in the river. Nobody cares. And I gotta give it. So that's what. So let me tell you to say that the song that got me was obviously
Mm.
and Benjamin. I gotta go to Benjamin real quick because Benjamin's a song I dance to. I love that song so much. I'm like, okay, but who in the hell is Benjamin?
Benjamin is money.
Money.
Benjamin is
Yes, I dance for
money.
the
So
coins.
I actually no, so Benjamin nah, not that. But like so I when I was doing Benjamin, like I wanted to create a song that I felt like was sensual, but I wanted to do like a twist to it. So, like it's like I wanted to take money and like almost turn it into like a person,
Mhm.
But all my lyrics, like when I'm saying like, oh, um, I only take demands from you, like, like you know what I mean? Like it sounds sexy, but at the same time, it's just like, oh, like we talking about getting money, girl. Like we talking about getting that money.
Yes, come
So
on, come go to the bag, go to the bag.
yeah, that's Benjamin.
Benjamin's a great project. It's a great song. I love it. Like I said, I still dance to it. Every time Benjamin comes on, I'm like in my whole Tina Turner fake because it gives me Tina Turner private dancer kind of vibe. So I'm like, I'm
Mm.
your private dancer for the Benjamin. So, so I love that song so
Yeah, you got me weak. Like,
it's a really good song, bro.
thank
I
you.
advise everybody that's out there, if you want to find another version of yourself, listen to Benjamin. You will discover a whole new you.
No
She
side of
they
yourself.
you will. They might be a little bit, a little slutty with it, but a
What's
little
that?
shoulder might be showing. That's okay. That is okay. We are discovering layers. Um, but I gotta also notate to your song, obviously, there's a verse. I didn't write it down exact, but basically I have more than physical attraction.
Mhm,
Now, you talked about being a lover.
mhm.
I gotta ask, what is up with your relationships in this particular song? Was that a situation that you was going through where someone basically did not appreciate all that you had to offer versus just one element? Tell me more.
Um, definitely some elements, definitely some elements. Like it's easy for me to kind of like grab from my life or grab a situation and I'm like, okay, this is how I would be if this were happening to me. As far as obviously goes, um, it was definitely in connection to like life, Um, and I think I was also just trying to I was trying to purge, but I was also trying to, you know, express that like, I could I could call it whoever, you know what I mean? Like it's not like I'm here because like I'm loving you, like I'm here because like I care, but like if this is not what you need, like I could like, my hotline bling too. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
That was
ma'am.
the energy like of the song, but it was also just like also a lot of heartbreak where it's just like, yo, like I could do this thing, but it's just like, oh, like is it me? But I think that also goes towards like insecurities that I had back then as well, where it's just like,
Yeah.
like, oh, well, maybe I'm not good enough. Like maybe it's back there somewhere. Like, you know what I mean? So
Mm.
it's like attitude mixed with pain. Like, it that song was like definitely like from a deep, deep place from me. So I'll say that much. I'm a private person, so it's like
I understand. I
it was
understand. Listen,
definitely
I'm the same way, but your songs. I always say there's a saying my grandmother would always say about drinking. She would say, a drunk man would tell sober thoughts. A song would tell the artist's heart.
yeah.
And honestly, when listening to the song, it will tell the heart that you have, that you are going through. All of that is definitely a notation in that song. I related to it because I get it. Don't just want me for something, just one thing. See me more. I'm a versatile. There's versatility within me, and if
Mhm,
you don't appreciate that,
mhm.
if you don't respect it, and if you don't know how to nourish it, why are we talking?
Mhm.
Why are we talking? And don't forget, you're not the only one. There is always
Yeah.
somebody. I will throw a pebble and it won't even bounce enough for me to find, honey, don't play with me. And
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
why I
yeah,
love that song and was
100%.
able to relate to it so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Now, I know you said that you're a private person, but I think that we get so much of you, and I thank you so much for the journey you take us through. Even now, we have Trust the Process, right? The latest one has come out. Tell me
Yeah.
about that project.
Oh, oh my gosh. Um, for Trust the Process, like, so I did that album in 5 days. I did
What?
yeah,
5 days?
I did
Continue.
that
I'm
album in
sorry.
5
It's
days.
me. Continue. I'm turning my mic off.
I did I did that album in 5 days. And I got to work. So there's these producers that I've worked with. Their name is The Breed. They're super dope, super amazing. And I even though it probably doesn't seem like it, I have definitely been in a lot of like experimental stage. Where like I know that I'm talented, I know I could do what I do, but I never really had the opportunity to like really lock in with producers. So this was the first time that I really like session after session after session after session with the same producer. And
Mm.
we locked in for the week, and I really just had fun with it. You know, like I was just like, I'm all the pressure is like really out the window right now. Like I'm really excited to have this moment, and you guys get me, and I feel like we can do something crazy, you know? And I just let my creativity fly. Um and you know, when I titled it Trust the Process, it was really just like, you know, encapsulating everything that I was mentioning to you before. And it's also mixed in with a little bit of manifestation and like, you know, it's a little hurt in there. There's happiness in there. There's joy, but there's beauty in all of these phases. And like, you know, I went from, you know, I told a story throughout this entire project. And yes, I started from track, but it's just like, yo, I'm here. I'm here. I don't even need an intro. I'm here. This is
Mm.
where I'm from. This is who I am, you know? And then I go into They Don't Know, where it's just like, okay, you know, I am here, but I don't think you guys understand what it's like going through whatever it is that I'm going through. It's kind of just, you're only seeing one side of it. You're only receiving the part that I'm choosing to give away, but you don't see what happens in the background, you know? Then we go into
Mhm.
trending, and trending is just like my manifestation. Like we charting, we on the billboards, we, you know, we here, you know, like we hot, we feeling ourselves. Going into active, that's a little spicy, a little attitude. Like we partying, we here. And you know, it goes introspective, it goes into sexy, it comes back down, comes back into pain, all the way down to If You Cared, and ending it with Jokes on You, to say like, you know, you I used to give you everything, and you gave me absolutely nothing. You know what I'm saying? But jokes on you, because I'm here at the end of the day. Like I've made it at the end of the day. Look at you now. Look at where I am, you know? And um I just feel like that was very cleansing for me. That was very cleansing. And even after, I feel like I needed to get that out of myself so that I could be where I am now. And I think that whole process of like going through those emotions and figuring out exactly who I was, I found myself making that project. So trusting the process means not only trusting the process of creating, but trusting the process of like God, just like for me personally, like
Mm.
me trusting that I'm going to get where I'm going to get no matter what, and to keep faith in that. And also trusting that like I know who I am, and I just need to be confident about it. And it put me in a position where now I even figured out what my sound is. I always knew my voice in music, but now I'm just
Mhm.
like, I know my sound and I know what I have to do next, you know? And that project just meant so much to me. I actually wish that I was able to do more with that project, but I was in the midst of, you know, um transitioning because I was working with I had a manager that I was working with, and like I was parting ways with my manager. So it's just like there was a lot of things like in the background that I feel like I would have done more, but I was just so caught up in like all the background stuff that I didn't get to,
Mm.
push it in the way that I wanted to. But like I'm gonna like make a little, bust a little UE on that project because there's so many like great songs on there. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful project. Um, and it really stands for a lot for me. It really does. It stands for like the evolution of Alex, and you know, yeah, that's that. I know a lot of people love Sweet and Sour, but Trust the Process was a real heart puller for me. It really was.
Yeah, I honestly, both projects are a great representation of you and what to get from you, whether it is the style of music or the person that you are. And Trust the Process is definitely, it's the statement, and it's something that we all should remind ourselves of. We are, yeah, we have our sweet and sour sides we want to get into,
Yeah.
but let's also touch into the idea that every day is a step-by-step moment for you to figure out, okay, this is a new layer of myself, and also this is a new challenge I got to go through.
Hmm.
But I understand, if I trust the process, I can get to where I need to go. And
Hmm.
I personally related to that project. I also related to, I think it's BK Baby.
Yeah.
It made me a little nervous because you literally said, I don't need an interview to tell you where I'm from. And I was like, well, Jesus, I just want to do an interview. I just but but such a statement song. And is that one of your favorite songs from that project?
No. Okay, it's really difficult for me to choose. I had very, very hard time choosing what my favorite one was. It depends on the day.
Mhm.
Okay,
Okay,
sometimes I feel sometimes I could feel very BK baby because I don't know. Well, before that project, again, like the manager that I had at the time, she was just like, oh, like I feel you don't like represent your uh where you're from like heavily. I was like, I really do. Like, what do you mean? Like I feel like I live and breathe Brooklyn. Like I live and breathe my
yeah.
culture, So I was just like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't need an interview to tell you where I'm from. Like you know where I'm from by the way that I talk, the way that I move, the way like I'm gonna show you, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna show you like where I'm from and like who I am and like this is Alex. Like you know what I'm saying? I was spitting on that track. Top five
You
and
did
I'm
it.
higher than three. I'm talking about number one, baby. Like number one.
Mm.
Like and I be wanting to spit that whole shit. Like sometimes, like I'll be like,
Look, you that song right there, if that's not a statement song, I don't know what is. That song, I said, she proud. I don't know who questioned her, but baby, go ahead and have several seats because she don't need nobody questioning anything. She got it.
like I'm here. Like what's up?
Pull up.
What's
Come
up?
on, Brooklyn. Oh my gosh. Well, I think that, there's so many different inspirations or influences people are going to get when it comes to your sound and who you are. But if you had to, and this is such a, I hate asking this question, but I have to ask it with you because I'm so curious what you're going to say. If you had to tell somebody who is Alex, what can they expect from your music? What would you say?
I would just say number one, like I am a dancehall R&B pop artist, but what you can expect from my music is a safe space where you can authentically be yourself. I'm not a robot, so I know that I'm a different version of myself almost every day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm really sad, sometimes I feel like a bad bitch, sometimes like I want to be able to represent all of those feelings that I know are inside of people, and I want to be able to bring it out of them. I want, I want people to be able to feel seen. I have been, I have felt invisible, especially, if you have a certain personality or you look a certain way, people can overlook you. And I'm speaking for the underdogs. I'm speaking for the people that feel invisible. I want to empower as many people as I can to like really build that confidence, because I know what it feels like, and I know how much I needed a safe space. And I'm really thankful when I hear that people receive it that way, and that people have like internalized it and used it. It's really touching for me, because it's not only like a diary for me, it's a healing space for all of us, like for real. So
That's where you are a healing space in itself. You are the one to listen to when needing comfort, and the person to definitely find when needing to find out who am I. Because when I listen to your music, I feel safe, and I feel like the amazing bad bitch that I know that I am. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
like
Period.
I want my music
Period.
to be your best friend. Like, let's go. Like, let's
And
go.
I'm really excited for our Nashville audience to take a listen to you, to get to know you. Tell me, what else do we have coming out now? You talk about Sweet and Spicy. When is that coming out? What is the updates? Can you give us some little nuggets? What you got for us?
So, I'm actually going to be putting out Sweet and Spicy on July 12th. So I'm really excited
Ooh.
about that. Um, and the project, I would say that it's a hybrid of like Never Say Never by Brandy mixed with Music of the Sun by Rihanna. That's the
Oh,
that's what
yes, ma'am.
that's
That's the
what
tea. That's what's up.
that's what I'm feeling is the best representation of like the sounds for people who don't know me. And yeah, I'm talking spicy on there. I'm talking a little spicy on there, but
Okay,
I'm
okay.
also being a little introspective. So, I really hope that it's received like, well. A lot of people have loved it and heard it so far. So I'm like, yeah, I'm excited, I'm excited for it to be out for real.
Well, I'm
It's gonna
excited
be
for us to
fun. I
catch
have
it.
like two girls on there that are super dope. One of them is a UK artist, um, Callie Claire, and
Mhm.
there's another artist from Nigeria, and her name is Ria Sean. Super, super dope, super talented.
How'd you find them? How did you what made you want to work with them?
So Callie, she actually reached out to me like, I want to say like 2020. She reached
Mhm.
out for us to do a record of hers. But something happened like with the beat or the producer, so the song never came out. But I'm just like, you know what, like you're dope. You know what I'm saying? Like we'll get another one. Like you will get one.
Yeah.
Like once I cooked up this song, I was like, yo, I feel like you would sound really dope on this. Like, let me send this to you and see if you like it. And she was like, oh my God, I want to hop on this. I was like, yeah, I got you, girl. Like, let's get it. And Ria Sean, surprisingly, I didn't even know. So she was actually a fan of mine, but I didn't know at the time. I just happened to see her on my feed, and she was listening to this song, and I didn't know it was her song. So she was listening
Oh.
to a song, she's like bumping. And I was like, oh, she's so cute. Like I was like, over this song is bumping. Like, what is this? So I clicked her, I clicked her profile. I'm like, oh, like you're an artist. Like that's super dope. So I checked out her music, and I was like trying to find someone to hop on like one song that I felt like was so fire, but I was just like, like I don't know who I hear on this. And as soon as I heard her voice, I'm like, oh, it's you, it's you. I met you, I'm seeing you at the right time. Like so I reached out to her, and she had actually hit me prior to. I never saw it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, oh wow, like look at that. Like, look at God. So I was just like, hey, like I'm looking for someone for this song. Like, it would be really dope. Like if you like it, you know what I mean? If you want to hop on it. And she heard it. She's like, oh, I love this. And she killed it. She killed her verse. She killed her verse. They both killed their
Oh,
verse.
wow. I got me excited. I can't wait to check it out.
Yeah. I'll send it to you early. I got you.
Yeah, I get an early release. It makes me see that this is my happy pose right here. I'm like, oh my God.
I got you,
You
girl.
you are everything, and I just, again, thank you so much for being here talking to me. Tell them where they can check you out more, how they can connect with you, all of that.
So you can follow me on social media, mainly Molly, that INLY. Mali, so Mali like the country, not like Papa Mali. And that's on Twitter and Instagram. And definitely follow me on Spotify. Definitely follow me on Spotify so that you can stay tuned for everything coming and also catch up on my Discog, baby. You know the vibes.
The fact that she just said it so easy, like it was just normal. Like we all like people say that all the time. Like Molly, not like not popular Molly, but that iconic. Iconic. You are an icon. That right there, probably one of my favorite moments in an interview at all time, like of
They
all
gotta
time. That
know.
was you're everything. They gotta know. They gotta know, and they will know. Nashville, I tell you right now, I don't know if she's ever gonna come to Nashville. I'm crossing my fingers that one day, but Alex is the one to look for. Thank you so much, love.
I'm a shy. I'm sure I will. I'm sure I will. Of course. I appreciate you having me. I honestly do. You're so sweet and like
Yes,
kind. And
ma'am.
thank you for opening me to Nashville audience and whoever else is in Nashville, you know,
Pull up.
she
Pull up.
you on right now.
That's that Brooklyn coming out saying, pull up. Come on, Nashville, pull up. Alex, the queen, thank you.
Thank you, mama.